Eros. Since Team Europe was established, the head-to-head reads Europe 13, USA 9. Home advantage is a big deal. Europe's last away win was the miracle at Medina in 2012, and America hasn't won on European soil since '93 at the Belfry. It's accepted that both teams tailor their home courses to suit their own players. For example, in Paris in 2018, Thomas Bjorn asked for the rough to be kept extra long beyond the green to target the big booming American drives. 10 years earlier, Paul Azinger did the opposite, and the Valhalla rough was trimmed right down. On both occasions, the home side were resounding winners. So what about the money? The most recent Ryder Cup in Rome drew in a record 271,000 spectators and boosted the Italian economy by €262 million. In the US, the PGA America TV deal with NBC is worth $440 million. But no Ryder Cup revenue has ever gone directly to individual players. That's until now. In 2025, for the first time ever, the US team will each receive a fee for playing in New York. Of course, in Rome, legend has it Patrick Cantley refused to wear his cap because he wasn't being paid to wear it, though he insisted it simply didn't fit. Either way, Team Europe have made it clear they're more than happy to keep playing for the sheer thrill, joy and prestige of the Ryder Cup.
I'm Sam Quek and this is Early Breakfast with Adrian Flux, insurance for the individual. Find out more at adrianflux.co.uk. We're going to be building up to talkSPORT Breakfast at 6 a.m. with Alan Brazil and Dean Saunders, who are live from glorious Goodwood. And what a dramatic and emotional day at glorious Goodwood. Of course, we have to do a nod and a condolences to all connections with the horse Trushan as well. And lots of mixed results. I myself actually liked a little bit of a flutter yesterday watching the races. I'm pleased to say as well, it went okay, could have gone better. I think in the 155 I got a cheeky 22-1 each way on Morris Dancer, which was brilliant run from William Buick. So that was a nice little few pennies in the bank. The 240 Lake Forest as well, another each way a second. I got 11-1. Purely went for that horse because his sire is No Nay Never, who is the same sire for our filly. Yes, I do own a horse who's been covered by No Nay Never, which means that she's actually been impregnated. She's due in the early year, so that's very exciting. And of course, in the big one, the Goodwood Cup, I had the favourite Illinois. Of course, that came second, so a bit gutted on that one. But today's feature race is the big one, the Sussex Stakes. Everyone will be looking at Field of Gold, who's the favourite. That's where I'm going to have my money. It's been a great year for that horse, winning the St James's Palace Stakes at Ascot. And of course, the Irish 2000 Guineas, looking to build on that. Anyway, for us, over the next hour, I'll be asking, is it ever okay to cheer on your opposition? Or, to be more specific, your biggest rivals? So far this summer, new Spurs boss Thomas Frank has referred to the Invincibles and yesterday labelled Arsenal one of the best teams in the world. And it probably is a little bit harsh of me to say cheer on, but you know, he's kind of bigging them up, isn't he? You don't do that, in my opinion. Let us know what you think. 03717 223344. Also as well, Spurs fans, just tell us how you're feeling about it all. You're obviously over in Asia at the moment with pre-seasons. Are you happy with the new gaffer? Let us know. And also, speaking of rivalries, former Real Madrid, Liverpool and Ballon d'Or winner Michael Owen will be joining the boys over at Goodwood on breakfast. So my question is, can a player ever be considered a club legend if they play for your rivals? I'll also be attempting to contact Dean Saunders live, and hopefully Alan, if he's there, on their way to Goodwood to find out if they've done any stretching or pre-match preparation in order to tackle the dreaded stairs.
What one's that? What one's that? Is that the Aussie or the Lion?
So I'm just doing an impression of you coming up the stairs. Help me! The stairs are mud. Get to the left, fix the mud.
Generally thought that was a horse from Joe Marler. Nice impression. But all of that to come, as well as a load of fun along the way. This is the Early Sports Breakfast on talkSPORT.
Wherever you are, girl, that's where I call my own. Whenever you doubt it, I'll be letting you know.
Oh, now if you don't recognise this song, you should well do this morning. That is a little bit of Burna Boy. Serena Wiegmann's favourite artist, we found out yesterday, as during the Lionesses parade, she was interviewed, and then after her interview, this artist was introduced. And it was brilliant to see Serena Wiegmann come from a usual cool demeanour into basically one of those drunk aunties or a dancing mum. So yeah, really humbling, really nice to see her, and an amazing turnout as well, by the way, on the mall outside Buckingham Palace. It was estimated over 65,000 people turned up to celebrate with the Lionesses. So some proper memories, and I'm sure more bigger things to come for the Lionesses in the future as they build up to the World Cup in Brazil in 2 years' time. That was dominating the back papers. Lionesses there again, all over the back papers again today, as well as news from cricket as well. Basically, India fury with the groundsman at Surrey. This is to do with the India head coach being involved with confrontation with the Surrey groundsman. And it's actually been caught on camera that Gambhir is telling Lee Fortis, who's the groundsman at Surrey, you can't tell us what to do, and you're just a groundsman, nothing beyond, after he and his team were caught walking and dragging their bags over the square, which was being prepared for future matches, and of course including the 5th test tomorrow. So it's already spicing up outside of the pitch, so it's definitely going to be set for a good one tomorrow, like it has been. Oh, we hope so anyway. Also, as well, back to Premier League gossip. Of course, that's always there. There's always something to talk about. Newcastle agree a deal to sign Aaron Ramsdale from Southampton on a season's long loan with an option to buy next summer. A medical is actually due to take place today. Again, the conversation is there on a lot of back pages about Isak's future. It's still rumbling on. Eddie Howe admits that it's out of his full control now. And Ollie Watkins' back page is saying Old Trafford United turn to Ollie as they're stepping up their bid to sign Ollie Watkins. Plenty of time, of course, still to go for more transfer rumours to come to fruition of such and get completed. And there's just over 2 weeks until the Premier League is back.
The Premier League title is coming back to Anfield after a 5-year absence.
Now you know how special of a club it is. Now you're part of history as well.
Ball into the feet, Marino. Saka! 1-0 Arsenal. No more than they deserve.
We have brought the club into a position, into a place that next season you have to win a major trophy.
Marmoush coming forward, shooting from the edge of the area. Scores a wonderful goal. It's about 30 yards from goal. Pull the trigger now and find someone on corner. Alexander Isak.
We are being the worst team, maybe, in history of Manchester United.
Tottenham end the season 17th in the Premier League.
It's low into the corner, and it is 7-0. Oh, the Premier League, we've missed you.
And it doesn't even seem like it finished that long ago, but I am very much looking forward to the Premier League being back. And it's only 16 days away now, but we'll be getting a taste of what is to come in the North London derby out in Singapore tomorrow. New Spurs boss Thomas Frank spoke to the media yesterday and surprisingly and weirdly was full of praise for their neighbours.
I think it's a great challenge. Besides being our big rivals, and it's the first North London derby outside UK. It's also right now one of the best teams, I must say, unfortunately, in the world. We also need to be honest. So in that way, it's a big test, but it's more than a test. That against Arsenal is not only a friendly. Of course, it's a game. We'll do everything we can to win.
Just casually saying that Arsenal are one of the best teams in the world there. And actually, it's not the first time Frank has complimented the Gunners. Here's what he said only last week.
One thing is 100% sure. We will lose football matches. I haven't seen a team that are not losing any football matches. There is Arsenal, that we can't mention, in the Premier League. So I made my first rookie mistake there. And there was Preston back in that they did. Those, I think, the only two teams in a Premier League season. Then they probably lost in the cup, and they probably lost all the games. So that will happen, of course.
He even knows. He's even acknowledged in the first press conference there that he shouldn't really be talking about his neighbours and rivals, but he's gone and done it. He's gone and done it again. So my question is that I'm asking, should a new manager be handing out compliments to their club's biggest rivals? Spurs fans, how are you feeling? I mean, how does that make you feel, hearing Frank say such lovely and positive things about Arsenal? Should he be doing it? I mean, in my opinion, it's just a complete no-go. I mean, why would you want to kind of add any more kind of coal to the fire? Is that the saying? Especially when it comes to your rivals. I don't know if is he trying to disarm any expectation that Spurs might have against Arsenal, but it's a rivalry. Form goes out the window. It comes down to passion and emotion. I mean, can you imagine Thomas Tuchel, obviously the England manager, German, and England are due to play against Germany, and he comes out in a pre-match press conference saying, Germany are brilliant. They've got superstars, the best team in the world. I mean, England fans, I know I would be absolutely fuming. It's just a no-go in my opinion. So Spurs fans, let me know how you're feeling. Obviously, he's a new manager. Are you angry? Are you upset? Does he just not get it? 03717 223344. Elsewhere in the Premier League, Manchester City have re-signed goalkeeper James Trafford from Burnley for £27 million. He joins summer signings Ryan Cherky, Ryan Aït-Nouri and Tijani Reinders, and Simon Jordan actually thinks that City will be a force next season.
Well, I suppose that's a classic, what have you done for me lately?
Yeah.
And now there's a new sheriff in town in Liverpool. Yeah. We'll see. I expect Man City to be a force. I don't expect them to be not in all the competitions, and I hope that in a high tide all the boats rise, because you want the best teams and all the other teams being dragged up levels. You want the three teams that come up from the Premier League to relegate the three bottom dwellers from last year that managed to hang into the division by the skin of their teeth and change the natural order of things. You want the Villas and the Forests and the Palace to build on their relative successes last year. And you want a very competitive 6 teams running for the league.
It's hard to disagree with Simon there, and actually something which actually agrees with him is, in fact, a supercomputer. So this has predicted that City will be champions. I disagree with that. Arsenal will finish second. I also disagree with that. And Liverpool will only manage third place next season, saying that they're going to finish with 85 points, considering they won the league on 84 last season. So it explicitly says, even without any seismic squad changes, City's machine-like system, powered by Marmoush, Foden and the returning Rodri, will see them keeping dominance in the Premier League. Their depth and consistency in tight matches gives them the edge over Arsenal and Liverpool. It says it predicts that it'll finish on 92 points ahead of Arsenal. And on Liverpool's chances, the supercomputer says, now none of this is gospel, by the way, this is all AI and all about stats being thrown into a computer and coming out with this result. So for Liverpool, it says Arne Slot's rebuilt side will feature a potent attack, but actually their defence will let them down against top teams, causing them to slip up and slip down to third in the title race. Again, we'll see about that. I disagree. And it also says Chelsea will finish fourth and Manchester United fifth, which will be great for United fans considering what happened last season. So thoughts, do you think the predictions are accurate? Do you think they're spot on? Or do you think they're absolutely nonsense? Get in touch. Up next, it's a question that we kind of probably know the answer to, or you might have different opinions on. Is it ever okay to want your team to lose? Apparently so, if your name is Joe Marler. This is Early Breakfast with Adrian Flux. Get a tailor-made quote for your commercial vehicle. Search Adrian Flux Insurance for the individual. Big Alan Brazil and former Liverpool and Wales striker Dean Saunders are live at glorious Goodwood from 6 a.m. for talkSPORT Breakfast. And don't forget, you can listen to all of our stations on the talkSPORT app. Should you prefer music, there's Virgin News, you can find Talk and Times Radio. Just swipe between our stations. But this morning on this glorious Wednesday, don't know if it is, I'm in the studio, can't see out of a window, so somewhere hopefully in the UK it is basking in sunshine. The headlines you're waking up to: India head coach Gautam Gambhir has been involved in a confrontation with Surrey ground staff during a training session before Thursday's fifth and final test against England at the Oval. Video footage from the net session shows Gambhir pointing his finger at Lee Fortis, Surrey's head of ground staff, and the India coach can be heard shouting, "You can't tell us what to do, and you're just the groundsman, nothing beyond." It was after the India team were caught walking over the square as the ground staff had meticulously prepared it for a busy summer ahead. Oh, it's all kicking off, isn't it? Elsewhere, the Women's Open gets underway at Royal Porthcawl tomorrow, and the hot favourite is a young, youthful 21-year-old Lottie Woad from Surrey. After winning the Irish Open 3 weeks ago as an amateur, she went on to also win the Scottish Open in her first event as a professional. Promising youngster there for the British and English. In rugby, the Lions have sealed a series win over Australia with that incredible last-minute try on Saturday, but former England prop Joe Marler revealed on Breakfast yesterday that he was cheering for the Wallabies.
Look, I wanted the referee to give a penalty for a dangerous clear out. I wanted that. I wanted Australia to win the match.
For a decider.
I think rugby needed a decider going
No.
into this week.
I had a nice bottle of wine with Campo. I bet the Lions, and he bet, the Aussies. So Aussies will definitely win. I went, right, bottle of wine.
Yeah, well, I wanted them to win. As much as I'm buzzing for the boys out there to get a series win, it kind of makes this week a bit like, yeah.
Oh, Joe. I mean, a few people will be scratching their heads there. So is it ever okay to want to see your team lose? I can't say as a Liverpool fan I've ever seen them want to lose, because I can't think of any ramifications where they might want to. George, my producer today, has prompted me actually as a Spurs fan. That Spurs fans 2 seasons ago wanted Spurs to lose against City so that Arsenal wouldn't win the league. So that's possibly, one way. From a elite athlete, obviously I was a former elite athlete, didn't you know? The only time I ever wanted my team to lose is when you weren't selected. And it sounds so toxic. I know, Kane, this sounds so toxic. But you obviously want them to win in the grand scheme of things.
Oh, okay.
And I've spoken about this in my book, darling. But as an elite sports person, if you're not selected, you kind of don't want your rival who's in your position to do too well, or you don't want the team to win without you.
I like that. The competitive edge in you comes out.
Very toxic.
Wow.
But if I'm going to be honest, a lot of people who I've spoken to
could
feel the same. And
but
it's
how
such
did
a
you hide
weird
that feeling though?
You don't.
Because you don't want to be that negative or on the bench, do you?
No, you're not at all. And also, even when you're not selected for a tournament in hockey anyway, you still have to train with the team up until that tournament. So you still have to give 100%. You still have to perform.
Oh, that's
because
really
you've got to be there
harsh.
for the team.
But that's almost like saying this is what you could have won.
Exactly. And imagine doing that in an Olympic Stadium in 2012.
That is harsh.
And you're not going.
Oh, mate.
Awful.
Oh.
So you're still there. You still want them to do well, because ultimately the results impact the future of your sport. But actually, deep down, as a person not selected, you might not want your team to do well. Anyway,
outrageous you weren't selected. I'm still angry you weren't selected. Outrageous you weren't.
Yeah, I'm over it. Not. Okay, so time to look at the back pages. Let's have a look then. A bit of a thorough look through with our one and only Kane Reeves. Go on, Kane.
Good morning. Yes, lots in the papers this morning about Ollie Watkins. Agent Brian Mbuemo played with Ollie at Brentford. He has described him as the complete striker. On all of the back pages, United considering a move for Watkins or Sesko. Now, lots of different fees quoted. £60 million to £65 million is what Villa would want for Watkins. He is 29 years old.
Is he 29?
He's 29. Would Manchester United be willing to go that big for a player who is entering the latter stages of his career? It is a big price tag. They would have to sell as well to buy, wouldn't they? So they've got Rashford off the wage books, but then Garnacho is still sort of loitering around, isn't he? Who would you go for in that situation if you were United? Sesko or Watkins? Or do they need another one to go with Cunha and Mbuemo?
That's a good point. It just feels for me that
A bit top heavy.
Yeah, and it feels a bit desperate. I mean, it says here, doesn't it? Ruben Amorim wants a proven scorer to lead his attack and sees Villa and England striker as the perfect fit. I mean, what does that say to the United signings?
And also with Watkins, he was left out of the Villa game against PSG, wasn't he, in the Champions League, left on the bench, and you think that might stick with him.
He's a proven goal scorer, though, isn't he, really? I've always liked him. I've always had him in my fantasy team.
But what I wanted to see from Ollie Watkins after the Euros was him really saying, I am going to challenge Harry Kane now for that place as England's leading striker, but which I know is difficult with Kane being the captain, but I felt like it was just a bit, not flat. It wasn't the season I was expecting from Ollie Watkins.
Well, maybe his ticket to Old Trafford could be his
if they offer him the
fighting place for the World Cup next year.
Interesting story in the Mirror as well. Clubs can banish TV if losing. So Premier League teams will be able to change their mind on allowing cameras into the dressing rooms next season if they are losing. I hate everything about this story.
Same. That's what people want to see.
So dressing room access is one of a number of enhancements being granted by top flight clubs as part of a new TV deal. So Sky and TNT will be able to go into the dressing room with their cameras and we can get a first-hand glimpse of what's being said, but only when things are going well.
That's so rubbish.
It's very sanitised. Do we even need this as an entertainment add on to what football is? Do we?
I think so. I mean, I'm massive into American sports, in particular NFL, and there's so much
But doesn't
exposure.
it drive you mad, the NFL in particular, when, you know, all of a sudden you've got some cheerleaders and a T-shirt cannon being fired at you, then you've got to stop and celebrate, and then there's 10 seconds of play.
It's a bit of me, that.
Oh, it's too much. I didn't like the players being interviewed at the Club World Cup at half time.
See, I'd love that. I'd like, because I also think that's where you get your absolute gold, because they're in the moment, they're full of emotion, it's unscripted.
Yeah.
And I think it's good to humanise footballers and coaches a bit. But back onto the story, that's when you want to hit. You want to know, okay, Chelsea are 2-0 down. Like, what's going to be said at half time?
It's like with,
if they're going to go and win at 3-2.
With the Tottenham All or Nothing documentary, all I wanted to see was Jose Mourinho's team talks, and he wasn't very keen on that. But you want to see how players face adversity, don't you? Rather than when everything's going well and everyone's singing and happy. Well, great.
Yeah, because it all seems, I think when you don't see that, because the Premier League is the best football league in the world, you've got superstars getting paid millions and millions of pounds. They feel like this untouchable, polished product.
So
we want to see what happens in the dressing room.
Do.
What snacks are they eating?
Hey, imagine
who's getting a massage?
There were
Who's
cameras
injured?
when the boot was flying at Beckham's head. That's what we want to see. Well, no, we don't want to see that, but we kind of do. Clubs must allow broadcasters to either allow them into the changing rooms, or they must allow in-match interviews with substituted players or managers. So we're going to get we're going to get a very different feel to the TV experience.
Do you reckon the players are going to be fans of this?
No. Well, some of them might, because they'll probably love being in the limelight, won't they? And more attention on them.
I wonder how much they are encouraged to do it, and B, do they actually have to do it?
And also, players are so media trained. So there are so many, when you hear, on to the next game, and it's 5-second answers, and it's because you've got the press officers basically coaching them from a young age.
It's a bit sterilised.
I do quite like the idea, putting them in an environment where it is.
I like that.
Off the cuff.
I mean, I've been media trained as an athlete, and it is very much you are taught to acknowledge the result, but don't say too much about it. And then the thing called bridging. You know what bridging is? When someone asks you a tough question and you kind of like acknowledge it, but then bridge to something completely random that you want to talk about.
James Maddison made the point when he was arguing with Simon Jordan a few weeks ago that actually players are criticised for being too robotic, but then also moaned at when they say what they really think. But I like the idea of having interviews, maybe players being substituted. You might get an angry player, but it does feel a little bit too Americanised for me. If you want football done the proper way, make sure you got the free talkSPORT app downloaded for the new season, everyone.
Beautiful. And we'll wrap up there. Thank you so much, Kane. Lovely to have a little chat with you in the morning. Always wakes me up and brightens up my morning. There you go.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay. Up next, can a player, this is one for you to think about, be considered a club legend if they play for your fiercest rivals? So, is Sol Campbell the only one? Let me know on 03717 223344, and I'll take your calls after the break.
When Sir Jim Ratcliffe took control of footballing operations at United, the Manchester-born billionaire was somewhat welcomed in as a homegrown hero, ready to save the club from the dark days of the Glazers. But in just 12 months, he became a punchbag for many fans. So what happened? Well, let's take a look and you can decide for yourself. Over the last 3 years, the club lost 300 million quid, and Ratcliffe rightfully committed to sorting that. But what seemed to get fans' backs up is the way he went about it. For example, talkSPORT understands staff lunch options at the Carrington canteen have been reduced to just soup and sandwiches, which the higher-ups at the club say will save them 1 million quid a year. Now, that might make sense for many who don't get free meals at work themselves, but it does get a little bit more picky than that. It was reported that after staff brought some stationery, they were ordered to send sellotape back because it wasn't considered to be essential. And the reward for being Steward of the Week used to be 50 quid, but that was scrapped and replaced by a paper certificate. But it's not just seemingly stingy decisions. In 2024 alone, Ratcliffe oversaw 250 redundancies, and more were announced at the beginning of 2025. Now, while there are people who acknowledge United staff numbers are overinflated, it's the optics which aren't great. Add to the mix the introduction of a flat ticket price of 66 quid for every fan, even children, while Casemiro's on 350 grand a week, and the frustration of fans reached fever pitch. Time will tell whether Ratcliffe's cost-cutting measures will improve outcomes at the club, but one thing's for sure, there's a long way to go for United to be back where many say they belong. This is Early Breakfast with Adrian Flux, the cover you need at a price you'll love. With What Vans Insurer of the Year 2021. Find out more at adrianflux.co.uk. And don't forget as well, you can watch the show and all the talkSPORT shows on your smart TV. I'm Sam Quek, and following me at 6 a.m. will be Alan Brazil and Dean Saunders live from Goodwood. And actually, if you listened and tuned in yesterday to the breakfast show, you will have heard how Alan and Dino had a difficult start to the day because the lift was broken. And by the sounds of it, it was quite a hefty walk and a few stories up. So we're going to find out if they're ready to tackle those dreaded stairs, if the lift has been fixed, and we're going to cross live to the back of DJ Ed's cab on the way to Goodwood. Good morning, Dino. Are you there?
Morning, Sam. Yeah, very good. Yeah, we just about got it because obviously Ed's driving and anything can happen.
And I was going to say, you all you arrived in one piece then?
Yeah, we're just getting Alan out the hotel.
Yes.
So we're at the Goodwood Hotel, and Alan, hopefully, I can see Ed in the foyer ringing him. That's not a good sign. So he's walking around on his phone.
Did you have a day at the races, both of you, yesterday after you came off air? Did you stay throughout?
Yeah, we didn't back a winner, all of us, until the last race.
Oh.
And we got a winner on the last race. But the biggest controversy of the day, Sam, the lift was broke.
Of course.
We had to go up 4 flights of stairs.
And no news if it's fixed today. Have you done any extra pre-breakfast physical preparation for them?
It was fixed by the end of the day, but I walked behind Alan with an oxygen tank as he was going up the stairs.
I heard you had Joe Marler on as well yesterday, and even he struggled, and he's obviously a former athlete. I know both of you are, but more recently retired than you and Alan.
Well, I mean, for all their... I didn't know what they were going to do because obviously there's a lot of boxes 4 stories up, and most people who can afford a box are over 50, aren't they? Normally,
this is true.
So everybody was going to struggle, but they got it fixed in the end. So hopefully, when we get there now.
Okay, well, I'm glad to hear.
If we get there, Sam.
I was going to say, you let us know if Alan turns up or not. And also, you gave away what hotel he's staying at, so all his fans are going to be swarming there tonight when he gets back.
Well, I don't know if he's staying because I think he's shooting off afterwards. I'm not sure whether he's staying, but
nice cover.
The biggest concern is there's no sign of him yet.
Oh, well, let us know. Obviously,
okay.
You know, who knows? Hopefully, Alan will make it. But thanks, Dino. I'll chat to you later on this morning.
Well,
good luck with the stairs.
Today we've got Michael Owen coming in today as a guest, so that should be brilliant. And he's bang on form with his horses.
Yeah, I think he's got two runners, hasn't he?
A few winners today, hopefully.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, Dino. I'll chat to you in a bit.
Thanks, Sam. Bye.
Cheers. Okay, you're listening to Early Breakfast as we run up to breakfast with Alan and Dean. As they said, they'll have Michael Owen on the show. They'll be with you from 6 a.m. And on that, at Goodwood, obviously, Michael Owen's massively into his horses. Of course, he's a former Liverpool, Real Madrid, and Man United striker. It's this man, Michael Owen.
Michael Owen again. It's there. Michael Owen strikes again. And incredibly, Liverpool have turned it round. The boy is a genius.
What a player Michael Owen was. A treble winner with Liverpool, Ballon d'Or winner, and a Premier League winner with Man United. It's Michael Owen. Now, despite playing a massive and a key role in Liverpool winning the treble in 2001, scoring twice in the FA Cup final, coming up through the youth ranks, is he really considered a club legend? Or can we even start to consider him as a club legend? Or did his move to Manchester United take all of that away? I think most, if not all, Liverpool fans will say he's not a club legend purely because of that latter issue of moving away to Manchester United. So I want your thoughts, basically. 03717223344. So the likes of Sol Campbell, who obviously went as a Spurs captain to Arsenal. Oh, brutal. I think I remember the fans' response to that one, pointing and shouting, called him a Judas. And of course, another example, Robin van Persie, 132 goals in 278 appearances. 8 years at Arsenal before joining Manchester United. Can you be a club legend if you move to one of your fierce rivals? But Michael Owen, I know, Kane, you've just come back in. Michael Owen, of course, was prolific. And I know Michael quite well. I've had horses with him, have horses at Manor House in Cheshire. And we live in the same area. And obviously, when you get to know someone, you get to have some more insight into their stories and their decisions.
Isn't he just like the nicest bloke on the planet?
He's so sound, and he talks as well about that move to Manchester United. And not a lot of people know he wanted to go back to Liverpool.
Exactly, and Liverpool said no. But what I don't get as well is there were two clubs in between his move to Man United. Were they so? Were you really angry at him for going to Real Madrid, or was that accepted?
Oh, it was kind of a bit of both. A bit disappointed, but obviously accepted.
He wanted to go back to Liverpool twice. Once with Newcastle, but Benitez didn't want him. And then there wasn't the offer to go back when he went to United. So.
I know. I think the offers on the table was something like Everton and Manchester United. So he was in a lose-lose situation, but obviously still wanted to play with his career.
You can't blame him. They went on to win a Premier League trophy, scored that great goal against Man City, the famous one. So it worked out all right for Michael in the end, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean, Michael, you know what? We're mates, but you're not a club Liverpool legend.
I find that so harsh.
Sorry.
You're an England legend, though, Michael. I saw Michael Owen's last ever England goal against Russia at Wembley. And
that's a great pub question.
Alan Ball, for me, is a man who is a legend at both Portsmouth and Southampton, something that is very rare. Alan Ball was the youngest member of the World Cup winning squad, I think. On this day, actually, in 1966, we won the World Cup.
Oh, topical.
Yes. And then he went on to play for Southampton for over 200 games, then managed Pompey, but then came back and managed Southampton, and it was widely celebrated by both sets of supporters, which is very, very rare.
That is unusual,
It
isn't
never
it?
happens normally. Peter Crouch moved from Pompey as well to Southampton, but had Villa in between.
Yeah, he did.
That was...
so you're saying if they go to a club in between, it's all right?
Then it's okay, yeah. I'm not sure. Maybe two clubs in between.
Yeah. Well, let us know what you think. You can text on 81089 or give us a call 03717 223344. Okay, Kane, front pages now.
It's a front page throwdown.
Oh, what a move!
The front page is first on the early sports breakfast. talkSPORT.
What have we got?
Well, brilliant pictures on all of the front pages. The Lioness is celebrating in a packed central London in the Mail yesterday. But I do love a little bit of showbiz gossip.
Oh,
and
yes,
well,
please.
very sad news that Patrick Kilty and Cat Deeley have split up. TV's golden couple. It's over after 13 years.
That is sad, isn't it?
But good news on the celebrity couple front, because we could have Katy Perry with a former Prime Minister of Canada. She has been spotted on an apparent date with Justin Trudeau, the former Canadian Prime Minister, just after she split up with Orlando Bloom, don't you know? The 40-year-old singer.
I did not see that.
No, what you didn't know about?
No, I didn't know about it, and I just can't see that. It's such a random mix.
But Orlando Bloom kind of looks like Justin Trudeau, so I feel like this is a proper rebound for Katie, and I think she's maybe still pining after Orlando. But look, I
Maybe
don't know.
that's just a type on paper.
Yeah, maybe. But she was spotted with the former Prime Minister of Canada having cocktails and a lunch, and they were cozying up together. So watch this space, everyone.
Cozying
Quite
up
cool,
together.
isn't
I
it?
wonder what that is. Is it holding hands? Is it giving a little smooch or a cuddle? I don't know. Or is it just a random date? I mean, a mate date between two people talking politics.
What? Yeah, maybe Katy Perry is very a big fan of what's going on in Canada, and also this is a fascinating story. We are big on the YouTube on talkSPORT. Subscribe, but YouTube is now the second most watched media service in the UK. It's overtaken ITV.
I've heard this.
This is incredible. So it's beyond the BBC. People spent on average 4.5 hours watching TV and video content at home in 2024, with broadcast TV still making up 50% of that, 56% of that. However, YouTube is leading in the streaming takeover now, with more younger people watching and more viewers now than ITV.
ITV itself or ITV streaming?
So ITV1 and also on the ITV streaming website. So
wow.
Not sure if it means ITV as a network in a whole with ITV2, 3 and 4. It's an interesting
that just
change.
shows. Yeah, you know what? Do you watch a lot of YouTube?
Oh, I'm obsessed with YouTube, yeah.
So you're like liking and fanning.
Yeah,
and...
it's the only online subscription I have is to YouTube.
No way.
Yeah.
So I'm the complete opposite. I've got Disney, Netflix, Amazon Prime, Sky.
Oh, you've been sold by them
all those NFL networks, all the sport ones, Liverpool FC TV.
And you don't have YouTube?
No.
Why
I
not?
use it for I need to see that little bit of history or that clip, but I'm not a subscriber and I don't follow channels or fans or anything.
Someone...
Am I the anomaly?
No, at the Isle of Wight Festival the other week, someone was playing their music off of their Spotify or YouTube, but they hadn't paid for the full subscription. So after every 3 songs, you'd get a terrible Meerkat advert or something like that pop up, and you go, "This isn't really the vibe."
That's me. To be fair, guilty on Spotify. That's me.
Oh no.
Honestly, I can't justify it. I just listen to a lot of radio rather than Spotify.
Good.
Do you know what I mean?
It's a good way of putting
in particular, talkSPORT.
Although on Spotify you can download the talkSPORT Daily podcast. But yeah, interesting. I find that quite fascinating. YouTube is taking over. Taken over with the viewers figures for ITV. They needed to sort themselves out, ITV. A lot of job cuts, and I just don't really know what they are at the moment. And their sport, they have some great sport on, but it's hidden away on ITV4, and you never hear about it.
Well, they're saying, aren't they now, with sport, it's in a strong place because people are still watching that live as it comes in, whereas programmes and dramas and other things, you can watch them on catch-up or stream.
And also with the streaming, you can schedule your own viewing, can't you?
This is true.
Whereas they can't do that. They're telling us what we have to watch. But, yeah, intriguing. I thought that was quite interesting.
Nice. Well, there we go.
Maybe not.
ITV, maybe a bit more sport.
But yeah,
no one's going to complain.
They have like La Liga games, random La Liga games. You go,
they had the
that's
Club
worth
World
watching.
Cup as well, didn't they?
It's
no, that was
away.
Channel 5. That was Channel 5.
And they never ever shout about it. But not that we're going to shout about it for you, because we want people to be listening to talkSPORT instead. But yeah, I don't know. Sort yourselves out, ITV.
You're on form today with your talkSPORT plugs and stream online and watch online. I love it.
I'm a very
doing my
corporate
job
person.
For me. Okay, thanks, Kane. Up next, I'll be taking your calls. Can a player be considered a club legend if they played for your rivals? Should new Spurs boss Thomas Frank be giving out compliments to their neighbours Arsenal? 03717 22 3344. Get your calls in now.
10k for Coldplay.
Good morning, I'm Sam Quek and this is Early Sports Breakfast on talkSPORT. We've got another competition for you, that's right. Coldplay are back at Wembley this summer and we've got a huge VIP prize up for grabs for one lucky listener. We're giving you the chance to win 6 tickets in a private box for you and your mates on August 22nd with full hospitality. That's right, food, drinks, the lot. Plus, we're chucking in £10,000 spending money completely tax-free. Here's how to enter. You've got to be 18 or over, UK excluding Northern Ireland. For a chance to win, text the word WIN to 83338 by 4th of August at 11 p.m. and you're in the draw. Text costs £2 plus 1 standard network rate message. You must have the bill payer's permission or post your name and number to Coldplay competition, PO Box 3190, Colchester CO2 8GP to arrive by 5 p.m. on the 7th of August. This is a talkSPORT limited promotion run on talkSPORT, Talk and Virgin Radio UK stations. For full T's and C's, head to talksport.com. Well, it is Wednesday, the 30th of July, and here are some of the headlines you're waking up to this morning. One is that Mark Clattenburg has accused former Chelsea star John Obi Mikel of trying to punch him amid his row with the club in 2012. The ex-Premier League referee, now 50, says Mikel burst into his dressing room at Stamford Bridge after a heated match between Chelsea and Manchester United in October 2012. Mark Clattenburg's bringing up beef from 2012. Oh, wonder what that's prompted that. Clearly not over it, Mark Clattenburg. But yeah, fascinating story. I'm going to definitely be delving a little bit deeper to see what that was about. Also in the Premier League, Everton are reportedly still hopeful of bringing Jack Grealish to Merseyside this summer. It'll only be a permanent deal if Jack lowers his wages to head to Merseyside. And one man who knows Grealish better than most is his best mate, Gabby Agbonlahor, and he thinks a move to the Toffees would actually be a good thing.
He should look at it as it's a World Cup year. Can I go on loan somewhere where the team's going to play to my strengths? That's what I'll be saying if I was him. Is David Moyes going to create a squad of players? They've got an exciting player, NDI, on the left-hand side. A team where I'm going to play in that number 10 position or on the left. And I'm going to enjoy my football. I'm going to get my goals and assists. And then you look at it at the end of next year, still have a year left in Manchester City, and say, has that opened the door for a bigger move?
Interesting one, this. I can see him playing well at Everton, especially with Everton's new stadium, having that new start over there at Bramley Moor Dock. But he's 29. He's full of experience. And everybody's talking about how it felt like when he moved to City and played under Pep, he was kind of held back a little bit. For me, I think if he was younger, yes, a move to Everton. But if you want to see the old Jack Grealish playing with flair and freedom that he had at Villa, I think maybe a move to the likes of Napoli. I mean, we've seen the likes of Scott McTominay move there from United, Billy Gilmour thrive and flourish over there and become almost cult heroes. And of course, yeah, his teammate Kevin De Bruyne has gone. I just think a team like that, less pressure, can win potentially some silverware, play with the freedom. I think it would really suit him. And also, you have to think that there's a World Cup place up for grabs with England next year. I guess it depends what Jack's goals are, isn't it? You know, is it money? Is it staying in the Premier League? Is it silverware? Is it to nail down a place in the England squad at the World Cup? Who knows? But I'm a big fan of Jack Grealish. I think he's a great person. He's one of those who you can see his personality on and off the pitch. I hope he goes to wherever works out best for him. Quality player and a quality person. But for more of these stories, visit talksport.com. But as well, we were also discussing earlier on if a player can be considered a club legend if they play for their fiercest rivals. Now, texts have come in, and we've got lots saying that Peter Schmeichel was a legend at both City and United. I forgot about that one. Another one as well, Tevez. played for City and Manchester United, did well at both of there, but can't be considered a legend. However, one text has come in here saying that Alan Smith is a legend at Leeds despite playing for Manchester United. Of course, massive rivalry there. I'm just trying to think. Cantona, didn't he? Cantona came from Leeds to Manchester United, but maybe didn't have the numbers and the legendary status before he left Leeds. So yeah, fascinating. I'm still convinced that you can't be. We had Kane in the studio reading our back pages, and he said the opposite. He said if they're at a club and they go to a club in between the rival move, then it's okay. Disagree. Anyway, moving on. Let us know what you think. Okay, Jamie O'Hara and Jermaine Pennant as well brought you the sports bar last night. They asked callers to get involved in creating an on his day 11. This is what they ended up with.
We've got Corrali in goal. We've got Jonathan Woodgate, Ledley King, Chris Samba at the back. Absolute units. And then we've got Diaby and Wiltshire in midfield. Great shouts. We've got Hatem Ben Arfa on the right doing bits. We've got JJ Kocher and Adel Taarabt as the two number 10s, absolutely making things happen, doing zero defending. Got Georgie Kinkladze on the left, just skipping past players of fun. And up front, sadly, Andy Carroll gets nipped at the post right at the death. Kanu gets in there. Jermaine Pennant is on the bench.
Come on! Mate, we deserved it, mate.
Not getting any minutes because we've got Dele Alli, we've got Yossi Benayoun, got Lualua, William Gallas, James Beattie, Keith Gillespie, Trevor Sinclair, David Bentley, Wayne Routledge, Steve Stone. There's loads of them. Pennant's not getting a sniff in this team.
Listen, on the day, none of them came close.
Well, you're living in Cook. I can't believe no one said me. I'm a bit disappointed. What are you laughing at?
Well, what a squad that would be. But I suppose on their day, or on his day, that starting 11, you never know, could potentially compete. Anyway, just on that as well, I always appreciated how good Premier League footballers are and professional footballers in general. But I just have to tell this story. I was playing in Soccer Aid, not this year, but last year when Frank Lampard was the manager and he was in charge before he obviously went to Coventry. And, you know, you still had pros there who were top quality back in their day. Theo Walcott, Jermaine Defoe, Jack Wiltshire, who's got an absolute beautiful touch. But I remember Frank came into one of the rondos and he joined the little 7-a-side team. And to see it firsthand, a player like Frank Lampard, his calibre, just being able to put deception on a pass, execution of a pass, no disrespect to the other boys because they were class, but you could just see his level of just pure class and finesse, how he used the ball, his body language. Oh, it was beautiful. So yeah, to see him up close live, he's up there for me in my top 3, Frank Lampard. So yeah, Big Frank, shout out to Big Frank. Anyway, moving on. Following me at 6 a.m. will be Dean Saunders, of course, and Alan Brazil. He gave me a worrying preview, though, just 20 minutes ago. Listen to this.
We're just getting Alan out the hotel.
Yes.
So we're at the Goodwood Hotel, and Alan, hopefully, I can see Ed in the foyer ringing him. That's not a good sign. So he's walking around on his phone.
Now we know as well that Alan does have a history of going missing, should we say, of course. But how many years ago was it? A few years ago back at Cheltenham, he just didn't turn up. No one knew where he was. And wasn't it like Chris Evans had to stand in for him? So hopefully he will be there at 6 a.m. where we do have news that if you were listening yesterday, the lift was broken. It is working again. And apparently their box is 4 stories high. So, you know, maybe that's why he wasn't showing up, because he thought he'd have to face those stairs. But the news is from Dean live is that the lift is working. So hopefully Alan will be there at 6 a.m. because there's plenty to look forward to in breakfast, and hopefully it will be with Alan and Dino together. Here's what's coming up. Right, they are live from glorious Goodwood. Alan Brazil and Dean Saunders are back with the gang. Here's Gabby Abong-Lahore giving you a preview of what might be to come with Mr. Brazil.
The best thing is how naughty he is on air, the amount of dumps that we have to put for Alan. The worst thing is he's moaning. He moans a lot of the poor producer.
Does he?
Yeah.
Oh. He's not even here to stick up for himself, but I'm sure he'll have his say at 6 a.m. on talkSPORT Breakfast. They'll be joined along the way with West Brom coach Ryan Mason, ITV racing presenter Ed Chamberlain, Australia's all-time record try scorer David Campsey, and this man. Come on, Michael Owen clip.
Michael Owen again. It's there! Michael Owen strikes again. And incredibly, Liverpool have turned it round. The boy is a genius.
That's right, we got there in the end. It's former Liverpool, Real Madrid and Ballon d'Or winner Michael Owen, and of course keen racing enthusiast and Manor House Stables owner Michael Owen. He's got a few runners at Glorious Goodwood, so hopefully he can give you a few tips as well. You've been listening to Early Breakfast with Adrian Flux, insurance for the individual. Find out more at adrianflux.co.uk. Alan Brazil and Dean Saunders live from Glorious Goodwood, coming up next for talkSPORT Breakfast.